गाइस को लगता है यार डेटिंग इज सो हार्ड यार, वुमेन को इतने ऑप्शंस मिलते हैं। भाई तुम एक चीज समझो, द वर्स्ट थिंग व्हिच कैन हैपन टू यू एज अ गाय कि हाँ वो डेट पे जाती है, फिर वो गोल्ड डिगर निकलती है तुम्हारे हिसाब से कि वो बिल नहीं पे करती है, और
आप मुझसे पूछो क्या होता है।
और शी विल प्रॉब्ली बी व्हाट अ कैटफिश, कि उसके फोटोज एक जैसे हैं, रियल लाइफ में शायद शी डजंट लुक द सेम. Those should be okay. I understand valid issues at some level. Sometimes not so valid issues. Ki ha, she came out to a date, she should sleep with you. That's fucked up as a guy if you do that. But from a woman's perspective, the fucked up things. Oh my God, women when they go out on a date.
I will tell you.
Go on.
So, first of all, what if this person's a serial killer, which is a very high probability? Date rapes. Also, like a lot of these people, when you go out on dates with them, they would also like pretend to really be in love with you and stuff.
Love bombing, as they call it.
Love bombing, emotionally manipulative. On top of that, they'll start promising you a future only to get into your pants.
Of course.
Girls, be very careful. Always send your location to your trusted ones.
Yeah. So exactly, guys need to understand that when a girl goes out, she is sending her location to 3 of her friends. Huh? She's carrying pepper spray and all that.
और कोई घर पे नहीं बता सकता.
हाँ, in India, as a girl, if your parents get to know you're going out, इतना stigma है, तुम्हारा freedom खत्म हो जाएगा. It is that bad. So if a girl is coming out on a date to meet you, she is putting in a lot more effort than you guys realize.
लोगों को लगता है कि एक्सपेंसिव मेकअप लगा लिया, माय गॉड कितनी मेहनत हो गई. नो, तुम्हें पता नहीं क्या क्या लोग बुन के जा रहे होते हैं घर पे, क्या बता के जा रहे होते हैं, कौन से दोस्त के पास कौन जा रहा है.
So yeah, a lot of guys, I don't think guys are empathetic to understand the female perspective. At least in my friends, none of them know this. They're like, oh date है, उसको तो आ जाना चाहिए, क्या ही effort लगता है, मैं pick up कर लूँगा, ये कर लूँगा. Doesn't work that way.
It doesn't. Do you think how much of it has changed, the dating scene in India has changed because of Western influences? Do you think that, because even right now arranged marriages are on rise, even after having, the facilities to facilitate dating through online applications, why do you think people are not able to find love?
I think one very important aspect which we don't talk about, especially dating apps or love in general, love life in general, is that starting, say you guys are from a different caste, say the guy is from a certain lower caste background, the girl is from an upper caste background, or vice versa, whatever it be. Starting में one party says, देखो मुझे फर्क नहीं पड़ता ये सब चीज़ों से, हाँ मेरे घर वाले प्रोग्रेसिव है, चिल है, मान जाएंगे. But when 2 years into dating, 3 years into dating, I have multiple such stories where girls tell me, we were in love, everything was going well, we were emotionally intimate, physically intimate, we were together for many, many years, and last जब शादी की बात आई, उसने कह दिया घर वाले नहीं मानेंगे. Why? Caste is the reason.
So I got a story submission from one of our followers. She told me that, she was working at a particular company, and she saw this random guy who was also working in the same company, and then they both started talking, and she didn't have any feelings towards him, but then this guy started professing feelings of love. She did not reciprocate, and she told him that, listen, we'd be better off as just friends. At that point of time, they didn't know each other's religion or caste or anything. It was just two individuals, a man and a woman, meeting and finding each other attractive and all of that. Then after a couple of weeks, the girl also started feeling things. Then they started talking, and then they got into a relationship, only to find out that the girl is a Buddhist and the guy is a Brahmin Hindu. Mm-hmm. The guy was not earning half as much as the woman. And the woman was okay with it. She was accepting of it because she always felt like caste will not be a determining factor for her relationship, because financial freedom, she's gotten financial freedom. Her parents are educated. They have good jobs. She never thought that this would affect her love life. But then as soon as the guy introduced the girl to his parents, the mother started crying. And she's like, अगर अब ये हमारे घर पे आएगी तो हमारे घर से कोई पानी नहीं पिएगा. Imagine that. This is 2025, guys. And
I remember the girl saying, जनरल तो चाहिए, OBC भी चलेगा, SC को कैसे लाया?
हाँ.
It's that bad out there. Guys, on record, I can say this. I, working in corporate, I was making about 30 LPA. I don't think I'm that bad looking either. एक लड़की ने मुंह पे बोला था मैं ब्राह्मण हूँ, I can't do this because you are from a certain category. It's very apparent out there. Obviously, if you live in these privileged upper caste bubbles, तुमको पता ही नहीं लगेगा. You think everyone is equal, everyone is the same. But in dating, in online dating, the caste factor does play out very apparently.
So I also remember, it's not just caste, there are a lot of other things that come into play. Like we were also talking about racism. I remember one of my friends was telling me about this Kashmiri guy from one of these very, very renowned NLUs from the south. This guy, the first question he asked the girl was, do you like desi black or do you like desi white?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't want to know either. Let's
He
leave
meant
that
the
out
skin
for-
color.
Let's leave that for the viewer.
And also, like, I have realized that, why people don't put their initials is also because people try to figure out your caste, your religion through your name.
Yes, even the religion factor. The thing is, obviously, when you're seeking out a partner or when you're seeking out something casual too, there is this forbidden fruit kind of an effect where people like to seek things which are considered taboo.
They just fetishize it because they know for a fact
That's
that they're not going to get into it.
Yeah.
Like, they will not get serious about it, but casually, yes.
And this is not a new trend. I would say ever since the 80s, Indian men have been fetishizing bhabis. That's not a new thing. And nowadays, it's what? Muscle mommies or whatever. Mommies or what they call them?
Yeah, but if we're talking about the religious factor, they would want to so I have seen this mostly in men. For men, I've seen that there have been studies wherein they have fetishized or sexualized a lot of women from the other community. Be it a different caste community, be it a different religious community. Why do you think that is?
Well, one thing, this is a very interesting thing I was reading. I don't remember this verse exactly. This was in Germany. And you have these, the far-right anti-immigrant, anti-Muslim sort of groups. And they did some doxing kind of thing. They figured out their online history and all. And these guys, they were vocally anti-Muslim. उनका porn history देखोगे, it's all hijabi woman this, hijabi woman that. Like, you see the fetishization happening. The thing is, objectification of the woman of the so-called enemy, the other thing, it's very part of this fascist ethos. Where fascist ethos में हमारे जो लड़कियां हैं वो तो, they're very pure, reserved, they're very शादीशुदा material. Whereas the women of the other community, they are ripe for whatever sexual objectification, sexual exploitation, things of that sort.
I've also noticed when you were talking about Germany just now, I was speaking to a German person, a man, and he told me, like, he'd come for an Indian wedding. He was very surprised by how lavish Indian weddings are. He was like, oh my God, you guys spend a bomb on weddings. We don't do that kind of stuff. I was like, okay. Then I asked him, what is the dating culture in Germany like? So the first thing he told me was that we always split the bill. And then I dived a little deeper to figure out how, because in India you can't do that. You can't expect that out of women because women are not at the same power, right? They're not at the same level.
Socially, it's not the same level.
Yeah, like the equal pay, what? Equal work, equal pay, what? Excuse me. But yeah, so like in Germany, they have equal pay. That's why the burden of spending is not just on the man. And how long do you think India would take to get somewhere there?
In India, the thing is, the progress at which it should happen is not happening because, first of all, we are not acknowledging the problem. The basic problem here, if very simple sense, was one very basic metric. It's called women's workforce participation. The number of women actually in the job market, employed, right? If you look at countries like China, it's over 70%. India, we're not even at 33%.
Listen,
we are struggling.
What are you saying? We have this scheme called Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. So aren't women studying now? Is it not more tangible, like the results?
The very systemic factors which actually prevent women from being employed, it's as basic as not having access to toilets. Guys can just be in a tree shade or whatever, but for women you need to have a washroom. Women go through periods, things of that nature. You need to have those certain infrastructural facilities. Forget normal private whatever. Even in a lot of government offices, you wouldn't find clean, accessible toilets for women. That is a very, big obstacle. And I've seen a lot of women. One of the women I was talking with in my undergrad research, sociology research, she told me, toilet nahi hai. So मैं सुबह से शाम तक रोक के रखती हूँ. I don't even drink water because if I drink water, I'll have to go pee. But I don't have a space to do that. It's that bad.
Yeah, I mean, I have seen a lot of new pink toilets being built by the UP government, which is a great initiative. But at the same time, I feel like it is still not reaching the inner parts of our country. And on top of that, government education in India is not growing. It is all becoming privatized. So eventually, I feel like, do you think there would be a time where parents would be okay? So I have noticed this, that if there's a household in a let's say a low income household, and they have a son and a daughter, they would always prefer to educate their son in private institutes, and they would be like, ठीक है लड़की है जाए वो उसको स्कूल गवर्नमेंट स्कूल में भेज दिया. अगर अब गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स ही बंद हो रहे हैं तो इन लड़कियों का क्या होगा?
The other thing why, even if they have the money to send the girl to a private school, they wouldn't. First thing here is that they believe.
Dowry.
Yeah, exactly. Building on dowry. The thing is, the girl, if she's educated and she starts earning, and शादी के बाद तो she'll move to the ससुराल. So she'll earn money for the in-laws' house, not our house. So it's not an investment worth making.
पराया धन.
Exactly. It'll go to the other family, right? That's the thing is, if the government or anyone in power wants to really tackle this underlying system, they have to name the system, which is called patriarchy or pitrusata, whatever they want to call it in Hindi. But वो शब्द कहने के लिए आप डर रहे हो. If you're not naming it, if you're not understanding it, बेटी बचाओ बेटी पढ़ाओ से नहीं होने वाला. It's only surface level, right? You will have to name the patriarchy. You have to identify the underlying social structures upholding it, and then try to dismantle them one by one. If you're not even comfortable naming the devil in the room, how can you fight it?
That is very true.
I think we're digressing from the
Yeah.
whole dating thing. Yeah, but yeah.
Because we're very vocal people, I suppose.
So one more thing, dating from a guy's perspective. I mean, guys out there, because of the skewed gender ratios online, guys, they also, the one more thing is that, for instance, if I'm a guy, I turned 18. If I've turned 18, and obviously the girls I'll be looking for will be girls around my age, right? Girls who are 18-year-old. Girls who are 18-year-old, I am trying to obviously woo them, but then also guys as old as 30, 32, पूरे 18 से लेके 32 के range तक जितने लड़के हैं, all trying to hit on the young girls. So it is one, hyper competitive, and when guys are, they're frustrated with this competition that, I'm not getting female attention, and they try going online looking for dating advice, what do they find? It's absolutely bonkers. It's things like Andrew Tate.
Oh my God.
So this is the whole Andrew Tate thing. If you're a guy listening, look, what does Andrew Tate tell you? Gaadi, hot models, amne samne, lot of money, and that is somehow will solve your life. Look, guys, if all you have to flex is your money, your body, and the woman you have or the car you have, the kind of female attention you will be attracting would come to you for those things only. If you're really looking for a personal, emotional connection, you won't get that by flexing superficial things in the first place.
Then they have a problem that why are women attracted to my money? Why are they gold diggers? If you're going to flex just about that, that is your entire personality. I have paisa, I have gaadi, I have shorat. You should definitely be with me.
The girl will be with you for those
that
things.
only, right?
Exactly. So there are women out there a lot of women actually who seek a genuine emotional connection.
But I think even women look at the superficial things on online, like on these dating apps, given the fact that I have seen a lot of women who would swipe only on those bios wherein the man says 6 feet, if that matters. But then they also want emotional connection. I just simply fail to understand this paradox. Like, what is happening?
I think once we begin, all of us at some level want that emotional connection. But as we get corrupted by this whole dating mechanism, I mean, all of these women which you're talking about, in some point in their life, they must have given a chance to an average looking guy with some sort of an emotional whatever, and that might have turned sour. So now they're of the opinion, heartbreak hona hi hai, so I'd rather have a 6 feet tall, good looking rich guy do it rather than some mid looking whatever.
I have also noticed a lot of these bios, now that I was talking about the bios. Since we only have a filter for religion on dating apps, we don't have caste filters, people still end up getting their caste there. Why do you think there is this caste pride?
I think it has more to do with, when you say of a certain caste, it comes with a kind of, lack of a better word, aura, where they believe यार मैं बोल लूँगा मैं जाट हूँ तो लोग सोचेंगे यार इसके पास तो गाड़ी होगा ये तो एकदम तगड़ा टाइप का बंदा होगा. That kind of a stereotypical kind of an image is created. And
is it also like that trend that came, Brahmin genes, and people are flexing their genetics and like how muscular they are because they are Brahmin, not because they were working out. But I also want to know, like, how were they getting that protein? But that's a story for some other time.
So the one surprising thing about India, if you see, majority of Indians, about more than 80%, are non-vegetarian.
Right.
And even in those other, whatever, 20-30% who report to be vegetarian, they have reported that most of them, because of the social stigma, if they say we're non-vegetarian, but your surname is a Brahmin, people will judge you. So, uske dar se wo logon ne keh diya. So, overwhelming amount of Indians consume meat. Even if you go to states like Gujarat, the meat consumption is still pretty high. However, we have this notion that, vegetarianism, which is a very small minority, is somehow ethically culturally superior, and that's like India's mainstream cultural.
Because I have also noticed this, like, I mean, if someone uses these applications, they would also ask you about your food habits, and they would literally make you feel as if you're inferior just because you eat meat. They're like,
okay, Zoya, tell me, would you ever consider dating a vegetarian?
See, as long as that person is open to me eating whatever and them eating whatever, I really don't give a
With regards to the whole dating scene from, say, a woman's perspective, what are some lesser known issues which guys don't understand?
So, safety, everyone knows, like even guys know about it.
They don't.
They don't? Okay. Guys, you make a lot of women feel very unsafe, and this is not all men, but a lot of men.
Yeah.
Okay. Second is, when men think that women are catfishing through their pictures, dude, men catfish with their entire life. There are married men stalking on younger women, like 20-year-olds ke piche ja rahe hain. Like, what is happening?
I think it boils down to the fact that the gender ratio on a dating app is so unequal. There's so many men and so little women. There's an incentive for men to stand out. They want to stand out, show themselves as larger than life. To do that, you'll see a lot of men would lie about their height, would lie about the income they make, would lie about the kind of job they do. The reason being, your job, your income, your height, your strength standards, even that itna deadlift karte and whatever, it is related to the social perception of what is your self-worth.
This social